So she got fired. Many of you guys may know the name Stella Chung. She is a content producer. She works over at IGN. And, she has just recently been terminated by IGN. IGN, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. And I personally am very, very frustrated with this situation, but I think it's important that everyone kind of learn from it because we watch these people online and we're like, oh my gosh, these people are like in a whole different world. These are just normal human beings. And as soon as they lose their job, it's a matter of how are they going to pay their rent? How are they going to survive? And that's one of the things I want to really focus on in this video is that you need to have a backup plan. You need to be investing, you need to diversify, you need to build your own business and your own brand. So the person again that I'm talking about is Stella Chung, and it is absolutely unfortunate what's occurred. She is kind of like Sydney Goodman, except Sydney left IGN officially years ago and she began building her own brand. And you could see that she was absolutely right now. So we're gonna watch Stella's video where she discusses being terminated, and and then we're gonna jump into this further because this has so many implications, not just for the gaming industry, but for all of us as content creators, and not just content creators, but you in general, regardless if you're making content or working as a plumber or working as a doctor, doesn't matter. Every single one of us has to have something else right now because we cannot allow our our livelihoods to be left up to a company. And many of you don't. This is why I said we're heading into serious times right now with Trump coming back. This is not the time to be playing games. Stella's channel will be linked in the description so that you can go check her out and support her. And now let's just go ahead and jump into the video.
Hey y'all. So you may have noticed that I've been more online and streaming this week during the daytime. Unfortunately, after almost 5 years at IGN, we've parted ways. I wish I could say it was amicable like every other breakup post you see in the industry, but unfortunately, that was not the case. The company terminated my position over a sponsorship deal I had taken for my personal brand and channels. The deal was with a mobile company that had previously been approved. Now the company takes issue with it. I am extremely grateful for my union, who has been supporting me actively this week and doing everything they can to get clarifications on current policies and working on getting fair treatment for me and, more importantly, others going forward. Currently, the union is working to negotiate the termination since the unit council and guild reps feel my termination was an overreaction to something that could have been easily resolved. Now, I wish I could say more, but I can't say more on this currently since this is an ongoing situation. But I wanted to make this announcement since this happened this Monday at around 4 p.m. after the holiday weekend, and it's been weighing on me. I've had some time to process my feelings, and I won't lie that it's still, I still feel pretty gutted and upset. Sorry, my words. With that being said, for the time being, I am open for work. Just a reminder that I'm still a kick-ass host who can do award presentations, esports hosting and commentating, informative dev or player interviews, game reviews, and game consultations. I still plan on staying in the industry whether I work at IGN as an independent or find another outlet or agency to work with. So, thank you for listening.
So regardless of what your politics are, regardless of what your beliefs are, I know many of you guys absolutely despise the video game journalism industry right now. But at the same time, these people are still human beings. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible seeing something like this happening, seeing, someone lose their job. And you have to realize that it was always about the money. They don't care. These corporations do not care about us. When you see the kinds of reviews that IGN is putting out, these reviews are obviously being manipulated. They're doing paid reviews from BioWare. They all have the same speaking points. It's all about the money. It's all about pushing a specific narrative. But the reason why they're doing it is for the money. All right. It all comes back to money in the end. I told you, who are the people that are sitting at the top of these companies when everyone else gets pushed out? the people who basically push the narratives and that are a part of this stuff. So it's all about money in the end, and it's so sad. It is absolutely sad. And I'm looking at Stella right now. She was kind of it for me. There's Akeem. Akeem is still over at IGN. It's a black guy. Uh, and I mean, he's probably the only thing left. Why I stopped watching IGN after IGN started putting out fake reviews, maybe a month or so ago. So God, that was like they've been doing it for a while. But after I think, like they also like after they've been just like doing the cold review thing, I just like I'm done. And I blocked. I cut off IGN. I do not recommend channel. But I started following Stella and on YouTube, and I think that the biggest mistake Stella made in this situation is that she did not diversify fast enough. She did not diversify fast enough. She did not start her YouTube channel fast enough. She did not begin putting out her own content fast enough. Okay? Another thing is that when you work for these large companies like IGN, you need to negotiate in your contract that I can promote my personal brand. If people want to find me, you need to be able to say on air, this is where you can find me on YouTube or find me on Instagram or on X. Okay? These are things that have to be negotiated. If do your best, because you cannot give away your business, you cannot give away yourself and your brand indefinitely to these organizations that do not care about you, and then you disappear and all of a sudden you're on the unemployment line. Okay? You run into these your favorite content creator that was a part of some organization that you were watching on in these large productions. You run into them at the EBT office. They're trying to apply for SSI, and you're like, wait, bro, you were just on there like a month ago. Yeah, things are hard. This is no way to live. That's one of the reasons why I keep on warning you guys about the importance of investing in cryptocurrency, guys. All right, so that your money is working for you. Make a small investment. You can, guys, even $10 right now. We want to do this before Trump gets in, because we're heading into horrible economic times. And what has Trump said? He said that homelessness will be illegal under his administration. He's not lying. This dude is not playing with y'all. Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen. Stop thinking Trump is playing games. Oh, Angry, that's only for people who are addicted to various substances. The good homeless people, the honest homeless people won't be put into tent cities. No, homelessness is going to be illegal. Okay? Guys, over 10 years ago, before I became like the mainstay YouTuber that I am now, I almost like 13 to 15 years ago I experienced homelessness. It's not for you. Okay, little bro, I'm the big bro, you're the little bro. I'm Uncle Angry, I'm Angry Sama. Okay? You need to listen and you need to understand. I've been there, I've done that. You are not that strong, all right? You are not that strong. You especially at your age. You know exactly who I'm talking to, all right? Gen Z can't well, if Gen Z is a whole other story. I mean, these people are aging they're not aging well. But in general, like a lot of y'all listening right now, you're not that strong. You're not that strong. You can it is easier to survive war than it is to survive homelessness for a lot of people. You think I'm serious. You think I'm not serious, I am. You think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. Unless you are professionally homeless, and there's a lot of professional homeless people out there, you don't want to mess with homelessness. So you need to be doing something like building up your business, building up your brand. What Stella should have been doing is she should have been building her personal brand hard. She should have been putting in the work on her YouTube channel. She should have been, build. She should have been. Hopefully, she's invested, but she messed up. She completely messed up because she gave IGN all of her. She gave them all of her energy. She gave them her life, and these companies don't care about you. They terminated her over like a sponsorship. I could see that she had been doing like sponsorships for like a foldable phone. I noticed it, and I was actually worried about that. I was like, is that going to be okay with IGN? And I'm wondering now if it was like that specific brand deal that destroyed her, and she could not have made a lot of money off that brand deal, because I don't see she has a small YouTube channel, so I don't see her making more than a couple hundred or $1,000 off that brand deal. I don't think that was a $15,000 brand deal. Okay, I'm being real with you. So if she lost her job over $2,000-3,000, Jesus help us, God help us. You know, she even like the I'm gonna be honest, it's even hard right here because like when something like this happens, another thing is that it's very easy. You want to be in a position where you can negotiate. You do not want to be in a position of weakness. Unfortunately, and this is something that people need to understand. Like I think it might have been a mistake for her to even come out and just like straight up say that she got fired from IGN. The reason why, because now it makes it look like, well, she's going to be in a position where, well, yeah, she was rejected from the company. No one wants to help you when you're down. This is how the world is right now. It's a very, very different world. And in the past, yeah, she may have been able to land. Maybe she will land on her feet. But the community is so toxic now, especially how these companies are connected and woke culture. It's going to be hard. I really think it's going to be very hard because IGN is the number one company. It's a number one video game company. Number one. Could she end up somewhere else? Yes. But I think this is just the beginning of a lot of consolidations in the industry. You have to begin investing in yourself. Everyone should be invested in crypto right now. Everyone should be building wealth and resources for themselves, not depending on these jobs, because these jobs cannot be trusted.
When I'm back in the White House, we will use every tool, lever, and authority to get the homeless off our streets.
This is brand new at 6 tonight. President-elect Donald Trump's strategy to end homelessness. He pitched a plan during his campaign, but the big question now is, will it happen? And if it does, how will it impact communities here in the Northwest? Good evening. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. K2's Angelica Thornton has more on what Trump wants to do that has advocates sounding the alarm.
Our once great cities have become unlivable, unsanitary nightmares, surrendered to the homeless, the drug addicted, and the violent and dangerously deranged.
That was Donald Trump last year talking about his Agenda 47 policy on homelessness and how he would tackle the crisis at the national level.
The homeless have no right to turn every park and sidewalk into a place for them to squat and do drugs. Americans should not have to step over piles of needles and waste as they walk down a street.
Trump says he wants to work with states to ban urban camping wherever possible and create large tent cities on inexpensive land where people would have access to doctors and social workers.
Violators of these bans will be arrested, but they will be given the option to accept treatment and services if they're willing to be rehabilitated. Many of them don't want that. but we'll give them the option.
Trump has talked a lot about what's happening in West Coast cities, including Portland. Now that he's president-elect, his plan could be put into play in just a matter of months, pushing aside housing-first policies for his treatment-first model.
I think when President Trump gets around to pushing forward on this agenda item, that he's going to find a lot of sympathetic ears on the West Coast to this sort of lock 'em all up plan that he toyed with during his first administration.
But homeless advocate Jimmy Jones says this isn't a Trump problem. He says it matters less who's driving the car when it's headed down the same road. And that road, Jones says, is criminalizing homelessness.
No, it's very consistent with what the Portland leadership has tried to do for the last couple of years. And I think that may be very shocking to folks who might think that their local government was aligned with somebody that they never would have voted for under any condition at all in their head. But in terms of, practical policy implementation, it is virtually identical to the work that's already been done.
Jones and other advocates in Oregon are worried that House Bill 3115, which lawmakers passed in 2021, will be repealed. The law was meant to enshrine a legal standard set by federal judges that cities and towns could not ban people from sleeping outside unless shelter space is available as an alternative. But this summer, the U.S. Supreme Court sided with the city of Grants Pass, finding that camping bans do not amount to cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment. Since then, Democrats have joined Republicans calling for changes to state camping laws.
Our city is suffering right now. We're having an identity crisis.
Portland Mayor-elect Keith Wilson ran on an ambitious promise to end unsheltered homelessness within the first year of his administration. He wants to set up a network of night and day shelters in buildings like churches and community centers, offering meals, showers, laundry, and social services. Wilson says it'll immediately improve livability and it'll give homeless services providers the breathing room they need to work on long-term solutions to keep people off the streets. K2 asked Wilson what he thinks about President-elect Trump's strategy.
It makes me cringe. When you aggregate misery, you just create more misery. We have to recognize that these are our brothers and sisters. I mean, my brother was addicted and homeless. I'm caring for him right now. I can't imagine you doing that. That creates an amount of suffering on a magnitude that's never before seen.
I'm very encouraged by that language.
Jimmy Jones hopes Portland will change course under Wilson's leadership. But he knows elected officials in every city and town across Oregon and other states are under a lot of pressure to fix livability issues.
Folks are just deeply and gravely uncomfortable by observing other people's poverty. They don't want to see it. They don't want it to be visible. They'd rather it go somewhere else. And these solutions take time, they take patience, they take commitment, they take smart public policy choices.
Jones says of all of the items on Trump's agenda, this might be the one with the most buy-in from the right and the left. He warns the message may sound good, but the methods will be brutal.
This is someone from the left. This is someone from the left letting you know that this is the direction that it was going in prior to Trump. This is what they were planning prior to Trump. Guys, this has been going on for a very long time. The homeless issue has not been addressed forever. It's always BS, 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 where it ends up costing like $100,000 or $200,000 to house a single person. California spending like hundreds of millions of dollars to build homeless housing, and then they only house something like 10,000 people. What? Wait. You spent $200,000 to house 10,000 people? What universe does that make sense in? So basically, all of that money went towards the public officials. Everyone got a cut. Everyone got a cut. It's sick. And then of course the people who end up getting spots in those buildings, those 10,000 people, you really need to look at who they are. Where did they come from? Okay. Where did those people actually come from? A lot of those people had connections. They had connections. Okay? Some of those people are city officials themselves, or former city officials, all right, are family or friends of these city officials. They got those people into those places. So you need to understand this is a total scheme. It's a miserable scheme that's going on. All right. A lot of people are going to be ending up in these tent cities. You don't want to be in a tent city. You don't want to be homeless. You do not want to be in that situation. Homelessness is terrible. It is not something to boast about. It is not something to celebrate. It's a horrible thing to experience. I said this once, I would not wish homelessness upon my worst enemy. Guys, Stella getting fired, this is only the beginning. A lot of these people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of our favorite content creators, a lot of these people are so-called game journalists. They're going to be losing their jobs. The video game industry is already consolidating rapidly. Microsoft is going to be firing even more people rapidly. All of these companies, all of these game studios are going to be closing down rapidly because they no longer make games. They don't make games for the public anymore. They make games for the investment companies because they don't look to me or you for their money. They are trying to appease investment companies that will then give them more money. And while the investment companies cannot force them to, because there's this thing called like the ESG score, and they're all trying to improve their ESG score. And to improve your ESG score, part of that is showing how much you push diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Because these are the kinds of things that determine whether or not your business will be successful. You can look it up. And so what they're trying to do is attract all of this money from Vanguard, from BlackRock, from State Street. And if they fail, they're like, well, we just have to keep a high ESG score, and then these investment companies will just keep on giving us more money because we have a high ESG score. So even though the product is failing, it doesn't matter because we still have high credit. It's kind of stupid. It's really, really stupid how the whole ESG thing is working right now. Because it's kind of like a credit score where, as long as you're meeting these guidelines and your business is ranked well, like, oh, you're pushing diversity, equity, and inclusion in your company, oh, your ESG score is going to be higher. So investment companies like BlackRock are going to are more likely to give you money. Well, even if your product then sinks, so for example, you created a product that no one wants to play, and it lost hundreds of millions of dollars, it doesn't matter that the product lost hundreds of millions of dollars because you still have a crazy high ESG score. So you can continue going to these investment companies and saying that, look at the game that we made. Look at all the diversity, equity, inclusion. Look at the organization. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. So now give us more money so we can keep on making more games exactly like this. That's how the system works right now. They're no longer trying to get our money. They're trying to get money from the investment firms. That's how companies make money right now. There are alternatives to funding your projects, but many companies no longer want to struggle. This is guys, it's basically a form of corporate welfare. That's what's happening with these companies right now. All right, they all want wealth. It's basically a form of welfare where they all want this welfare money, and that's an investment firm money, and they're going to do everything they can to get that investment firm money. Basically, they're going to go back on their principles. They're going to push all of this DEI garbage. They're going to indoctrinate their employees with all of this stuff about unconscious bias to get that BlackRock money. Because they're no longer making games for the consumer. If they put out a game and it makes money, great. But that's not their primary target. Their primary audience is not the gamer. Okay? And when they talk about the modern audience is it's really just another name for BlackRock. It's really just another name for State Street. It's really just another name for Vanguard. Because many of us don't know how video games are made anymore. And it took time to really comprehend these things. It really, really took time to comprehend and understand what was happening here. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. How do we get these companies out? How do we get DEI out of gaming? I actually, worked out a strategy, and I want you guys to just check out the strategy right here. So here's a hypothetical strategy for targeting the influence of firms like BlackRock and their DEI driven agendas in the gaming industry. And I think this is very, very important. So the strategy is going to focus on education, marketing, market disruption, alternative funding models, and grassroots advocacy, leveraging every available method for maximum impact. So phase one is awareness and public education. So we're going to expose the connection between diversity, equity, and inclusion and investment influence. So we launch a public information campaign, create a distribute content, videos, articles, podcasts. That's something that us YouTubers would have to do, explaining how investment firms like BlackRock use environmental, social, and governance ESG criteria to influence gaming companies, highlight how DI initiatives are often tied to ESG scores that affect funding access. Yeah. Next, we're going to leverage data and examples. We're going to provide concrete examples of games or companies impacted by ESG-driven DEI mandates. So guys, what we have to do is, like, now we have DEI detected, we need to do ESG detected. We're going to be showing how this affects gameplay, stories, and creative freedom of developers. We're going to focus on gamers and developers. So we're going to target gamers, particularly those frustrated with forced social agendas in games, by highlighting the connection between DEI mandates and the decline of their favorite franchises. Next, we're going to educate developers about alternative funding options, which we're going to detail below, to reduce dependency on firms like BlackRock. Phase two, we're going to do market disruption and we're going to focus on market disruption and alternative funding. So first off, we're going to build and promote independent funding platforms, launch crowdfunding platforms, develop game-specific crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, but tailored for gaming that connect gamers directly with developers. We're going to encourage transparency by allowing developers to share their vision without DEI or ESG pressure. We're going to introduce crypto-based game funding. Okay, so this is just one of the options. We're going to create decentralized funding mechanisms using cryptocurrency or blockchain, empowering indie developers to raise capital without relying on traditional investment firms. And we're going to integrate tokenization to let gamers invest in a game's success. We're going to encourage game-driven market pressure. Okay, organize a consumer-led boycott of companies that openly embrace DI agendas influenced by investment firms. Use social media forums and influencers to amplify the message. We're going to promote games that avoid ESG/DI driven mandates as a pure creative vision alternative. And we're going to use gamer communities and grassroots campaigns to drive demand. In phase three, this is the developer and industry outreach phase. We're going to create alliances of independent developers. We're going to build coalitions of studios and developers who oppose investment-driven DI mandates. We're going to offer shared resources, legal support, and funding opportunities to help them remain independent. We're also going to encourage major gaming studios to establish private funding pools or cooperative agreements with other developers to reduce reliance on outside funding. Next, we're going to infiltrate game development education. We're going to fund scholarships, conferences, and education programs promoting merit-based creativity over DEI mandates. We're going to teach aspiring developers to focus on storytelling and gameplay mechanics rather than fulfilling external ESG quotas. In phase 4, we're going to focus on regulatory and political pressure. We're going to challenge ESG practices legally and politically. We're going to advocate for transparency in how ESG scores affect investment decisions, lobby governments to require disclosure of how DI mandates impact funding allocations in creative industries. We're going to use antitrust arguments to target large firms like BlackRock, arguing that their ESG criteria create monopolistic control over the creative direction of industries like gaming. Next, we're going to target taxpayer subsidies and or incentives. So we're going to push to eliminate public funding or tax incentives for gaming companies implementing DI mandates to satisfy ESG criteria, and advocate for performance-based subsidies tied to game quality, sales, and consumer satisfaction instead. In phase 5, this is the consumer and gamer movement. We're going to build a gamer advocacy organization, create a group like Gamers for Free Expression to act as a watchdog for corporate overreach and influence in the gaming industry. We're going to host protests, online petitions, and campaigns to pressure companies and investors to reduce reliance on ESG-driven funding. And of course, this is where it comes in. We're going to use influencers and content creators. We're going to work with gaming influencers, streamers, and YouTubers who oppose DI mandates to spread the message. Equip them with clear talking points and data to explain how ESG influence negatively affects gaming. We're going to create viral campaigns using humor, satire, and memes to illustrate how DEI/ESG is hurting beloved franchises and the gaming community. And then in phase 6, we're going to accelerate the demand for alternatives, promote and fund indie studios. So we'll highlight and support indie games as alternatives to AAA titles dominated by ESG-driven mandates. We're going to create an indie game awards program celebrating creative freedom and consumer-focused innovation. That's already happening with side scrollers. They're coming out with the Real Game Awards. Establish consumer rating and certifications. Develop an independent certification or rating system for games, indicating whether they are free of ESG DEI influence. Market this as a badge of creative independence. This is a very, very important part of all of this, guys, is developing an independent certification or rating system. And basically, consumers will know right away whether or not a game has DEI in it, and they can lose their badge. For example, if a company, if we find out later on that they try to put this garbage in there, they are like the developer of Final Fantasy, when they like censored a game that had been out for like 5 years already, what we're going to do is, no, you're going to lose your certification if you do this garbage. So the expected outcomes are this. In the short term, within 1 to 2 years, awareness grows among gamers and developers. Consumer-driven demand for DEI-free games increases, and indie studios and alternative funding platforms begin to gain traction. Medium term, 3 to 5 years, more developers opt out of ESG-driven funding. Large gaming studios see revenue decline due to consumer backlash and begin reconsidering their alignment with firms like BlackRock. So this is a long-term thing. Long-term, 5 to 10 years, a decentralized and game-funded ecosystem emerges, reducing the influence of investment firms over the gaming industry. Gaming companies prioritize merit-based content creation over compliance with external mandates. And I think that this is kind of like the direction we really need to go in. I think this is where we are heading right now, and I think this is how we fight back. I honestly think this is the best way for us to fight back what's happening. Because if we don't step up, if we don't stand up, then it's not going to work for any of us at all. It's only going to continue going downhill. But I think that this is definitely the best way for us to fight back against what's happening in the gaming community and just entertainment as a whole. Because this very same model can also be applied to not just video games, it can be applied to movies, television shows, media, Hollywood. This is the type of model that we have to begin implementing, period, to get ESG out of video games, to get ESG out of movies, television shows, music, every it's indoctrinating us in every walk of life. So this is the type of model we have to go about, because as you can see, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years for any real change. Like, this is like, if we don't start fighting back right now and going hard, this is something that may not take, that could take 20, 30, or 40 years before we see any real considerable change. Like, I won't be around for that. I won't even be here. So unless we have like massive pushback and we really begin fighting now, we have to start fighting now, especially with Trump back in office. We can't just sit on our hands. We have our voices as YouTubers, as content creators, and then people who've worked in the industry. We have to put our voices together. We have to get onto platforms like Rumble. We have to amplify everything, because if we don't, we're going to lose the medium that we love. We're going to lose everything. We're going to lose anime. We're going to lose video games. Sony picking up, was it From Software's guy, the creator of Elden Ring? We're screwed. So we have to take action, or this is it. This is absolutely it if we don't do something. I mean, guys, I don't think we have a lot of time left. I'm being so honest. Because if you notice, Trump got reelected, and they're still doubling down on this garbage. If you look at the new Squid Game, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's riddled with DEI garbage, and it's only going to continue getting worse. So, I mean, what do you think regarding this? Do you agree that this is the best way that we can go about, getting this garbage out of our video games, and once again, actually having something that we can appreciate, having being able to enjoy games again? But it's going to take a long time. But let me know what you guys think. And what do you think about Stella getting fired over at IGN? Again, I'm pretty sad about it, because for me, she was kind of like, that was it. There's really no one else. There's Akeem. Akeem is funny. I think he belongs in like voice acting work. It's clear this dude likes voice acting. I think Akeem should get his ass out of there as quickly as possible. It's a sinking ship. Like, I hope Akeem leaves IGN if he's not already gone, because I haven't seen him. I haven't been watching IGN. But yeah, like, my favorite, like, Sydney was 100% right to get off that sinking ship years ago. She saw the exit and she left. Now she's hosting the Game Awards regularly. And, regardless of how you feel about the Game Awards, I don't like them. I think it's a shill show. But she's out there getting her money. She's out there making her money. And she saw it. She was right. She was 100% right to leave IGN. When she left IGN, she went independent. And she was also like doing things like hosting like the Halo premiere or Halo and stuff like that. That is where she should have been. She found her exit and she took it. And I wish that Stella had done the same thing. Like, she had been building something. I mean, even Sydney had her she had her YouTube channel. Like, she had a pretty reasonable following. She hasn't been really making videos recently like that. But even before she left IGN, she was still like building out her YouTube channel. She had a loyal community known as the Good Men. And they were really actually some decent guys over there. They're Sims, but they were decent Sims. Really, like, none of that toxic, not so toxic. So she had her community, and they called themselves the Good Men. And that was a smart move on her part, where she began building something out before all of this went down. And everyone has to do something. Everyone has to be building something. Guys, like I said, this is not my, this platform is not my business. This is not my business. People go and they turn YouTube into a business. And this is something that I learned from Roberto Blake. One of the biggest influences when it comes to content creators, teaching people how to create content and so forth. Do not become an employee on this platform. Do not become an employee on YouTube. Okay? Use YouTube as a means of growing your brand, growing your business. But do not make it your business, because you're on another man's property. You're on another man's land. You own nothing on the platform. So you use this to build your business, build your brand. And that's what we all have to start doing right now, like building our own personal brand. If I work for someone else and I'm bringing people to their business and so forth, I'm going to use them. I'm using them to build my personal business. I'm using them to build my personal brand. There are going to be things in the contracts. Oh, you don't want that? Okay, well, then I'm not going to work with you. Okay? Because if I lose my job here, I lose everything. Okay? So I need to be able to have my contacts. I need to be able to have, we're going to share that information. What you'd be surprised what they would negotiate, what these companies will negotiate for. Because if you have the skill sets that are bringing them money, then yeah, you can negotiate for a lot of things. And you need to be able to promote yourself, promote your personal brand, and you need to be able to build up a base of followers. For example, I have the Clubhouse, I have the I have the Academy guys. That's a part of my larger business. Okay? And I'm continuously building my business, because it's the smartest thing to do. And also, do not become stuck on one platform, because again, you're making other people money, and you're doing business on another man's land. You don't own any of this. So you have to build your business, build your brand, and you have to also invest. It might be hard, but even small investments can have large payoffs. Cryptocurrency, the stock market is garbage right now. No one should be jumping into stocks right now. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. Like, I mean, you have to be very, very careful how you mess around with stocks, because that the market is looking like it's going to experience a massive crash as boomers start pulling funds out. The boomers hold 80% of the stock market, 80%. So, and many of them are going to start pulling out money out of their 401k soon, and they have to pull it out. It's like a legal thing where you can't just leave it in there forever. So much of the stock market is built around 401k and investments and so forth, that once the boomers start pulling that money out, we're going to see rapid declines. It's not a game. And of course, the boomers are going to be looking for other places to save, to put their money, and that's where crypto comes in. So this is going to be the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. And if you don't want a piece of it, well, then you can focus on getting yourself into a tent city. But if you want to make meaningful change, then I really strongly suggest that you guys focus on building yourself up, investing in crypto, and also investing in your personal brand, building out your business. Like I said, we have the Content Creator Academy coming very soon for you guys, where I'm going to teach you about these things. And also in the Angry Guy Clubhouse, I also post tons and tons of content about how to build your own business. But let me know what you guys think regarding all of this, regarding the situation with Stella, regarding, Trump's plan to put a lot of these people in tent cities that lose their jobs, the homeless population. Let me know. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away, and cheers. Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government-controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the Academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen.